Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. This is BRN AM for Friday, February 2nd, 2024. And our top story today, ways to reduce your car insurance premium. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Ashley King is with State Farm Insurance, and Ray McGrath is a car enthusiast. Ray, always great to see you. Ashley, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much to both of you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for having me.
Yes, indeed.
Ray. Yeah, Ray, it's always great to see you. And Ashley, welcome to the program, or welcome back to the program. It's been a minute or two since you've been on. Ray, I want to start with you because we were talking about planning the show out, and darn, we've seen car insurance premiums rise significantly. You live in New Jersey. I want to get your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about inflation, and one of the highest growing components of the inflation number has been auto insurance. But it's not just auto insurance, health insurance, property insurance. I mean, a lot of it goes back to supply chain and climate. I mean, we've seen more flooding like in San Diego just this week or last week. So it's really been, and you know, I know folks in the industry are waiting forever for parts, you know, so just trying to get your car fixed. So it all adds up, and labor is not cheap. We know that. I said a lot there, but it all factors in.
It does. Sure. And Ashley, I want to bring you in because you're not in New Jersey, you're in North Carolina. I want to get your perspective, and you represent, you're part of State Farm, which, you know, you have your own brokerage, but you're part of the State Farm family. What are you seeing both locally in Charlotte, in North Carolina, but also nationally?
Yeah, I would say just with the cost of auto insurance increasing, a lot has to do with the cost of parts and these newer vehicles. I mean, 10 years ago to fix a rear view mirror or a side view mirror used to cost $300. Now with all the safety features that are on these new vehicles, that side mirror now costs $1,800 to fix. And with like increasing auto accidents or anything along those lines, the amount that insurance companies are paying out has skyrocketed because it's not just a quick little easy fix. They've got to completely like dismantle the vehicle to get to the root cause of the damage, and then make sure the safety features are reinstalled correctly. So I mean, that's one of the big things that's driving up cost of insurance.
And how much does theft play in a role? Because there was a study several months ago about certain car brands that were, I guess, on the top list of burglars, or I don't know if they call them burglars, but that, you know, thieves, right? Burglar. I'm dating myself, but thieves. How much does theft and ultimate car replacement play in the role of pricing a car insurance premium?
It's just one factor, honestly. Like just from what we see here in my office when it comes to claims, theft is probably a small piece of that, right? A lot of it has to do with just fender benders, right? There's so many more people on the road texting and driving nowadays, or, you know, just not paying attention like they used to because of all the technology. So when it comes to theft on certain brands, I mean, there have been a little bit tightening when it comes to being able to insure certain brands of vehicles. And that has to do with the increase of thefts across the nation on certain brands. But I wouldn't say that's a huge factor with rates going up, just one of the factors.
Yeah, Ray, I want to pivot back to you, and you obviously you're a car enthusiast, and you've done a lot of car refurbishing. Are you seeing differences when you go out to price a used car versus a new car in terms of your local rates in New Jersey?
Well, I think since the pandemic, the price of used cars have gone up, but really not so much. I would say, you know, it comes back to kind of the earlier point. There are certain models that people like to steal, like if it's a Hellcat, if I can say Hellcat on your program, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. We're going to bleep it, Ray. We're going to bleep it.
Right.
Those are popular because, I mean, that powertrain, you can transplant it into an old car, and, you know, that's popular amongst the underworld, so to speak.
Okay, so note to self, maybe don't buy a Hellcat, and try to get Ashley to
Yeah, that's it. Who bless? Yeah.
That's well, Ray, Ashley, I want to take a very quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you might go about lowering your premium for car insurance. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network. Well, Ashley, Ray, thanks so much for staying with us. Really appreciate you hanging around for segment number 2 this morning.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation, important conversation. Ray, I want to kick things to you. You brought up a really interesting point in the green room or off camera, and that is electric vehicles. A lot of people, for sustainable environmental reasons, want those EVs. But Ray, you got to check to make sure what the cost is going to be to repair, replace, and get car insurance.
For sure, Jeff. I mean, people always talk about the cost of a battery pack and when it dies, how much is that going to be? But you could hit a rock on the road and damage the cooling system for your battery and result in having to replace an entire battery pack, which could be $20,000. So I was just telling a friend of ours yesterday, Jeff, he's looking to buy an EV. I said, hey, get a quote from your insurance company first, because you might be saving all this money on fuel, but if your premium is going to be, 40% higher, you need to factor that in.
Yeah, and Ashley, I want to pick up on that because a lot of people believe, as Ray was describing, that, hey, I get the EV, it's home sweet home, I'm going to save the planet, I'm going to lower my gas costs. But in reality, before you buy any car, you really need to check with someone like yourself to figure out what the costs are going to be.
Absolutely. And I think when it does come to the car buying process, people get so excited about getting a new car to where they don't think about, okay, how is this going to affect my monthly premium, right? When it comes to the insurance, one of the smartest things you can do is contact your insurance provider and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting X, Y, and Z vehicle. They can give you a ballpark idea of what your monthly insurance is going to be. I think that is just one of the smartest things that you can do before purchasing a vehicle. And then just to Ray's point, when it comes to the electric vehicles, one thing that you have to also consider is for these electric vehicles, only certain dealerships or repair shops are able to work on these types of vehicles. So when it comes to if there's a repair that needs to be done, the amount of time that it's going to take for your particular electric vehicle to be fixed, you have to make sure that your insurance limits, especially for a rental car, are gonna, you have enough coverage to make sure that you're not going to run out of insurance coverage due to having an electric vehicle and it taking longer or possibly taking longer to be repaired.
Right, because I think policies are 30 days. And my friend, he ran into that.
Yes, that's it.
It was taking 60 days, the estimate.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think you both bring up really great points. And Ashley, I want to kind of switch the conversation to how do we lower the premium? Because there's lots of ways, and I was going to bring up the Hellcat from the first segment, but I decided not to do that. But how do we go about lowering our premiums that we're paying? Because you can scrimp on coverage. I want to talk a little bit about the drive safely and save. But what can people do if they're buying any car to reduce that premium that have gone up?
Absolutely. So there are a couple different options you have. I think the biggest thing for people is if you have multiple insurance policies, the best thing to do is keep it all under one roof so that you can qualify for that multi-line discount, especially bundling home and auto. It's just going to save you in the long run and to have everything under one roof. Another thing that you can look at is from your comprehensive and your collision deductible. The higher the deductible, the lower the premium is. But you want to set that at an amount where if you got into an accident tomorrow, you could cut a check right out of your savings, your checking account to get your vehicle fixed. So you could always raise your deductibles to lower your monthly premium. And then you can also, there are a lot of safe driving programs a lot of the insurance carriers have. State Farm, we have Drive Safe and Save, to where it's a free program that you can enroll in. And what it does is it takes your particular driving habits and allows you to tailor your rates based on how you particularly drive, versus kind of statistics of what people in the area is doing. So like you're able to tailor your rates more.
Do a lot of people sign up for that, Ashley? Just anecdotally, you don't have to give me the numbers, but are you seeing that both locally here in the North Carolina area, but also nationally? That's a way that a lot of people are willing to do that?
Definitely say in the Charlotte area and the clients that we serve, we offer it to everybody. And a lot of people are wanting to take control of what their rates are or I should say, have more control of what their rates are because it is, I mean, you'll be able to check daily, daily what your score is going to be, and you can see what exactly you're saving. And it's really good for people who don't drive a lot. Or just stay locally to where your mileage also is going to bring down your premium as well.
Yeah, and Ray, I want to come to you. Just some ideas, insights into getting the best deal possible. I mean, the drive safe and save. That's I think there's always the other side that says, oh, privacy. But look, right. There are cameras on every street. I mean, you've got a phone that's pinging a cell tower. So Ray, I mean, that's kind of a bad argument to make because you're already being tracked. But how do we, last question to you, Ray, how do we save? I think Ashley brought up some good points. What can we do as part of our financial plan to save on this type of expenditure?
I think Ashley brought up great points. I mean, looking at your coverage levels, your deductibles, although she didn't say it, but you could shop around if you don't like, your current provider. Maybe
she's not going to say
Farm.
She represents State Farm.
Right?
That's right. There's no one else out there. It's like, Ray, I mean, you and I work in the retirement industry. There are no other providers but X, but understood. So shop around.
So at least then you know what the market costs are. I mean, unfortunately, everyone's costs are on the up. So, I mean, my friend, I have all these anecdotal stories, but he basically shopped around because he was shocked at the increase. So he saved a little. I don't know what he's given up in coverage, but there's always a trade-off. So it's good to be an educated consumer. Very cliche, but it's true, It
is true. And Ashley, I'm going to give you a chance to kind of come back a little bit. It's important to have one thing that we didn't talk about, making sure that you have a company, and I don't want to just do a pitch for State Farm, but making you have a company that will back the liability because that's big. You want someone, you don't want a mom and pop insurance company that's not going to be there to support you if get into an accident or something else happens or you pay all this premium and they go out of business.
Yes, no, I mean, exactly that. And right, like when you think of insurance, like you don't really think about it until you have to use it, right? And so you have to make sure that you have the right coverages in place so that when it does come claims time, like as State Farm, like we have coverages to use to make sure that you're going to be okay and get you back to where you were prior to that accident. And so when you are shopping around, right, like that's perfectly fine, but make sure they're not slicing your coverages in half, right? Because the last thing you'd want is to get into a car accident and not have enough liability coverage through your own policy that's going to protect you if someone sues you in an accident. And then you're on the hook for thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars because you want to save a few bucks per month, right? Yeah. So make sure they're not slicing your coverages in half. It's not worth it when you have to use it.
Yep. And I was going to add, Jeff, I have a friend who paints cars or repairs cars, and he basically told me, hey, if you have XYZ insurance, stay away from them because they won't pay. They're a big hassle to deal with. While other ones, they'll say, hey, I need a headlight that was also damaged. They'll pay. So it's almost good to know someone on the inside who tells you what insurers really work on behalf of their participants, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, really good points. Ashley, Ray, thanks so much for joining us. And we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you,
Thank
Ray.
you, Jeffrey.
And that wraps up this episode of BRNAM. Have a topic of interest, somebody you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest curated news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more and all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content, then visit our website. We're back again tomorrow with another edition of BRN Weekly. We'll be joined by Jane King from the NASDAQ, and then we'll take a look back at some of our best segments for the week. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.